Hey guys, welcome to Comic Basics. I'm Joel, and today's episode, Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. The book begins with two important parts. First, Professor X has seen to it that Wade Wilson has been institutionalized for his own good. And second, the Watcher foretells that the Marvel Universe is about to meet its imminent demise. The problem was that the specialist on staff was Psycho Man, basically a miniature evil-doer inside the body of a robot. Psycho Man had intended to use Wade to carry out his schemes. Fortunately, before this could happen, Wade smashes the head of Psycho Man, killing him in the process. As a byproduct of his rehabilitation, the speech bubbles that surround his head begin to change. Instead of his normal pink and yellow bubbles, indicating his jokes and thoughts, the audience notices a new red bubble guiding him. He tells Wade that things are different and that he knows what he must do. Wade proceeds to make short work of the Doctor and all of the other inhabitants of the ward. The scene shifts to a defeated and melted Mr. Fantastic. We're not privileged to know exactly what happened to him. What we do know is that while there, he decapitates Johnny Storm and dispatches of the Thing. Before he leaves, he turns his attention to the Invisible Woman. At first glance, she defeats him by creating a force field inside his head, thereby popping it like a balloon. What she forgot, though, was that he's able to heal from anything, and after regrowing himself, he stabs her through the heart. Spider-Man approaches Deadpool and begins an ill-fated attempt to talk some sense into him. Deadpool tells Spider-Man of his issues. He tells him that they're being controlled, being told when to laugh, jump, and various other things. Spider-Man wouldn't hear any of it, and because he is the quintessential do-gooder of the Marvel Universe, Deadpool takes matters to his own hands and blows his head off. He then turns his attention to Earth's mightiest heroes, the Avengers. At first notice, we see the team in a meeting with the purpose of the meeting being how to handle Wade Wilson. While in deep conversation, the team is interrupted by Jarvis. He tells them that a handful of Pym particles have gone missing and that Deadpool is to blame for this. Without warning, an explosion goes off, killing the near entirety of the team. The two to survive did so because, 1, Luke Cage's skin is indestructible, and 2, Thor, well, he's a god. Luke Cage warns Deadpool, but before he could finish his thoughts, Deadpool tells him that he expected this. In fact, because he expected this, he shrunk down a few bombs and put it in a coffee. The scene turns to a panic, now head smoking Luke Cage. Deadpool then turns his attention to Thor. Knowing that a match with a god is not in his best interest, he tossed some Pym particles at Mjolnir. As quick as he threw them, Mjolnir began to grow. The hammer grew so large that it wound up crushing Thor beneath it. If the story is called Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, that means he must then turn his attention to the not-so-jolly Green Giant. All looked lost as the Hulk literally tore the Red Assassin in half. However, this played exactly to how Wade wanted it. As he slowly once again regrew himself, the Hulk calmed down and changed back into the easily dispatched of Bruce Banner. With the Hulk defenseless, Deadpool chopped his head off. Yes, even the Hulk was no match for Deadpool in Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. The question became, and Bill Goldberg of WCW used to say, who's next? In an attempt to strike a nerve with those like him, Deadpool apprehended the leader of the X-Men, Charles Xavier. Immediately, Charles called for his team, but unbeknownst to him, Deadpool had laid a series of traps designed to kill each of the X-Men. And they did. One by one, the X-Men fell to his plan. Even the sole survivor of the attack, Wolverine, was no match. After a series of attacks, Deadpool was confronted by the one he had been looking for, the Taskmaster. Because of his power of mimicry, the Taskmaster observed and learned from Wade, all the while getting a glimpse into his psyche. If this sounds strange, understand that Deadpool purposely lured him into the swamp of Man-Thing. He did this so that the Man-Thing would feed off the eventual fear of the Taskmaster. And he did. The fear was all it took, and now Man-Thing and Deadpool began to look at one another. For those of you who don't really know, the purpose of Man-Thing is to guard the various universes of the Marvel Comics world. As the two look at each other, Man-Thing begins to understand why Deadpool has done what he's done. In fact, he agrees with him and sacrifices himself so that a portal may be open for Deadpool to climb through. As he travels through the portal, he's shown all of the multiverse in the Marvel world. He convinces himself that, if he travels long and hard enough, eventually he will encounter the one who created it all. Finally, he stops in the universe responsible for writing the stories. He sees a bunch of writers and illustrators working away, and just before the reader thinks he's about to kill them, he turns to the reader and promises that he will be here soon. Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe is widely considered a Hallmark book to read. In actuality, it's only the beginning to a much larger and more graphic group of stories. If you like the character, Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe is probably for you. And I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. Both really do help this channel grow. If you have any suggestions for other videos that you'd like us to do, leave them in the comments and I'd love to do them for you. Thanks guys. You know what? I know there's a million YouTube channels out there, and for you to take a few minutes to check out mine, it really does mean the world to me. And at the end of the day, I hope you come back, and until you do, I'll catch you next time.